Chris Grier is currently addressing the media right now, Leroy, at the Combine, and is, addressing all sorts of things.
This is when I miss Robbie.
Why?
Because Robbie.
Oh,
Robbie,
yeah.
that's
true. He'd be sniffing around for a linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
Is he available? Can we ask what his
I'm sure. I mean, I think usually we could probably get him on early tomorrow and get his thoughts on it.
Yeah, because I have no clue what direction to even look, to be honest.
He is.
I'm going to tell you what the Dolphins, they don't have a first-round pick.
Nope. Tamper.
But I think they could probably do some stuff by signing, a veteran linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go with all your other draft picks and some, if you get a couple of guys that are contributors, some guys that you can develop, a little bit of both, and hopefully you get lucky. What happened? Remember what happened in Seattle? It wasn't that they, all these guys that they had, the Legion of Boom, they were all lower draft picks.
Yeah.
And so they got lucky. They got a couple of those guys to end up being starters. So they got cheap labor for 3 or 4 years, and then they had to start paying guys.
Yeah, Russell Wilson too. Was he a third-round pick?
Yeah.
So yeah, they were. I mean, listen, that was a masterful job by them building, and then with this team, they do have to have the whole thing with Christian Wilkins. He did say, this is from Joe Shad's Twitter account, Chris Greer on Christian Wilkins extension. He says, "We love him, and we would like to have him here long term."
Yes.
Which is saying everything and saying nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Exactly, dude.
Well, because you know what? A lot of GMs feel that they don't want to ever say anything that can end up costing them more money. Let's see what you think.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I told you.
Well done, sir.
What is that?
That
green
is
apple cherry.
Celsius green apple cherry.
Not that what do they call it? Concord grape.
Let's see if we can get a package of this sent here, huh?
That Concord grape.
All right. He also said, Chris Greer, he says, on any concerns about Tua's durability, he says, quote, "I can't lie and say no, but it's not something that's going to make us wait to do something long term." I don't know what that means.
It means
it's not enough of a concern to hold them from doing the option, right?
It means that if anybody thinks a decision is going to be based on injury, then that's not true. That's basically what he said.
Mike McDaniel was very elusive on this yesterday. Do you have him, Marcos, on the Tua Tagovailoa 5th-year option yesterday? Because Mike McDaniel was asked about the time. They have until May 1st to decide. That is when they have to pick up his option.
But why do, if you have until May 1st, there's no reason to do it now.
There's really not. I mean, unless you just have I don't know if they, unless there's no doubt.
It doesn't matter.
But here is,
even if they have no doubt, most of the time a team will wait until the last couple of days.
Yeah, people love deadlines.
Right. So, for us to read too much into this is, I personally think you could get Tua for $30 million a year right now.
You mean just sign him to an extension?
Yeah, and you get $30 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he goes out and plays all the games, he's going to ball out.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to lead the league in accuracy and a lot of those things that are hard to do. And now you're talking about 40, 50 million.
Yeah.
So
it's possible.
If you're going to extend him, you might take it might cost you additional $7 million. They're
not going to extend him though.
No, they're not.
Nah, no way. And I don't even blame him for not extending him. But I do think that the risk of, I feel like the risk of him missing, some catastrophic thing happens and he's like, there's no way I want this guy to be my quarterback next season at $23 million. I think it's a pretty small likelihood that that's the case, that you're going to get burned on picking up that option. But here was Mike McDaniel yesterday on Tua's option.
What is today's date? It's in February. What's our deadline? So we probably best served to utilize the time. That's kind of the way we're approaching it. But that doesn't mean that we're spending any long period of time not discussing it. This is something that Chris and I have been working through and will continue to work through.
It's also one of those things too. Like you probably think that what they're probably focused on over this time is the draft.
Right. They're not like of all the things, like to go to this press conference and be asked a whole bunch of questions about Tua, when going into it, they probably had no questions about Tua at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it. You're going to be asked about Tua. Like, this is probably the last time they're going to face the media till the draft, I would guess.
Yeah.
So that just goes with it. But I would say, like, well, people are like, well, why haven't they done it already? Like, because they don't have to. And, like, it's still a job and you have other tasks and the combine's coming up. And I need to know whether this beefcake Wisconsin guard can rep 225 48 times or something like that.
Here's the other thing is that
it's a lot of reps. I don't know. That was a ridiculous.
Is that
quite a bit of reps.
Picking up, whether you decide to pick up Tua's 5th year.
Yeah.
As far as things to do is so far down the list because that's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Boop, you can do that, where all this other stuff requires legwork and requires you to be out on them streets checking talent.
It is like the topic of du jour today, though, because I've been looking up on ESPN. It's like, should Tua commit? Should the Dolphins commit to Tua long term? I was walking by with Leroy and I were walking to the kitchen, and on Get Up today was, should the Dolphins trade for Lamar Jackson? It's like the Dolphins QB. Like we don't have a top. It's like, what are we? March 1st. Need an NFL topic today. What do we got today, boys?
Tua.
Get Up producers. He goes, Dolphins, Tua. It's like
It's like a magnet. Dude.
It's fun, but it is fun. Like it is one of those things too. That's like, it's fun to have a team that's always in the national discussion.
Here's the crazy thing about this. If you think about all the stuff going on in football, Tua and the Tua conversation shouldn't even be that important.
It really shouldn't be that interesting.
Because you got Lamar Jackson. What the hell is going on with him in Baltimore, which should be leading everything?
For sure.
Okay. Then followed by Aaron Rodgers. And he's not a free agent. He's under contract. And the only way he could be gone is if you trade him.
Is Lamar Jackson thing like, is it only a thing though because he's from here?
No.
Which would obviously be
obviously
would be a very cool story that Lamar Jackson comes. And I really like Lamar Jackson. Like you want to talk about like dudes who just seem like real and take accountability all the time. It's like
he's a good dude. But I'm saying as a and here's what you do that kills me. So you see the offense that Tua ran last year.
Yeah.
And the success they had. Mm-hmm. And the big playability they had. And I tell you, hey, the Dolphins are thinking about signing Lamar Jackson, and you say, oh, well, Mike McDaniel could develop an offense for him. It doesn't work like that.
Why not?
You don't just change your whole team or a whole situation that was successful because of one guy. It would have to be that Lamar Jackson is good enough that of course, you're going to tweak it a little bit. Of course, you're going to tweak your offense. But the core of your offense, you're not going to ever just revamp your whole offense to fit one guy.
I just think but like going back to like the interest just being his hometown, like the Dolphins don't really have the assets to get him. It's not like Baltimore would probably want at least, I would feel like 3 first-round picks to get him. Maybe less because you have to give him a monster contract, but you also have to give him a monster contract.
Wait,
it's like I don't like this mechanism of getting Lamar Jackson is like not that easy.
You know what's funny? Here's what's funny about football right now. The Ravens say they're mad at Cleveland for giving Deshaun Watson 230 all guaranteed.
Right.
And Lamar Jackson says he wants that. They say, no, that's an outlier or whatever. But if you try to trade for Lamar, they're going to ask for exactly what Cleveland had to pay for Lamar.
Fair point.
For Deshaun Watson.
Definitely.
So how in the hell he's not good enough to pay him what Deshaun Watson got paid, but he's good enough for you to get the same compensation
Yeah, like I'm just trying to think. Like when you say the Dolphins should acquire, like what are you? Okay, well they don't have first round picks this year.
That's the same thing that you were saying what you were trying to do with the Heat.
With what?
They had nothing to trade. They had nothing to trade, and here why you coming here every morning?
I don't do that.
Yes, you did.
I don't do that.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't.
Kevin Durant.
Oh,
see, you have
making his debut tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I'm all no. Well, see, let me be fair. I say I'm very interested.
Mm-hmm.
I will watch the Heat. I will attempt to watch the Suns to see what KD does.
Is that sneaking in? Suns Hornets, is that sneaking onto national television anywhere?
But here's what makes it even worse. You know what today is.
Today. What is today? March 1st.
Mandalorian.
Oh, I figured you'd knock that out when you got home.
But that's what I'm saying. No, do they put all episodes up?
No, they do it one at a time, but I feel like once the day starts, it's out. It's up. I don't think there's like a 7 o'clock.
They don't do it all.
Nah, that's only a Netflix thing. Even Netflix has gotten away from that somewhat.
All right, so I'm not watching it tonight. I'll watch the games.
You're gonna stack up some episodes.
I like a flow.
You like a good binge watch.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go 3 weeks, maybe 4, and then like just go out on the jacuzzi and hit play.
We'll get to some more of Chris Grier's comments as he's speaking to the media right now, and also big clarification from Mike McDaniel on Tua. That's next. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM.
I'm proud of myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I made it an hour without jumping across that table and choking you out.
That was a rough start, so I thought it was going to lead the other way.
No, but what makes it worse is he knows he's irritating me, and he goes full court pressure.
That's right.
He called you tap machine.
You guys turn on the lights in here?
Marcos did! Don't come over here and mess with our stuff!
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to make it cooler.
I have one
and it did
rule.
not work.
Don't touch my stuff.
I think the lighting actually is pretty good.
I have that rule too.
I did.
I hate when people touch. Like, man, Big Spoon, like,
It's like
when she cleans, she thinks she's moving stuff to where it's supposed to be, but she's basically just moving it out of the way. But then when you ask, and this is the part that relationships end, right? Hey, where'd you put my whatever? I put it where it belongs. Which is like it's torture along with the death match that all my socks have.
Yeah.
2 socks enter, 1 sock, 1 sock leaves.
Let's get to some headlines here brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
You didn't like when Len took your toy. That was a thing.
No.
The Florida Panthers, they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-1 last night.
Big
Big
win.
win.
Anytime you beat
Whoop
the
that
Lightning.
ass.
Now,
That was her victory rap.
Yeah,
I
was for Victor.
I will say this. Tell me if I'm wrong. It doesn't count till they eliminate them in the playoffs.
Everything counts right now just because they need wins. Like, they're desperate up against it, Leroy. So, yes, I get your theory as far as meaningful beating Tampa. You could beat anybody right now. It's meaningful. It doesn't matter how bad the team.
Where are they? Are they still a couple points out?
They are 3 points back right now, I believe,
Oh my
of
goodness.
Pittsburgh, who they have on Saturday.
3
7-game homestand coming up for the Cats.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. They're back at it tomorrow against the Predators.
I watched some clips from Cocaine Bear. It gets funnier and funnier every time I see it.
The Miami Heat, they take on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight at 7:30. Kyle Lowry still out. Omer Yurtseven and Nikola Jovic going to the G League. Workout.
So Jovic, I think of all the players that are out that I'm most intrigued by is Jovic, because he does a lot of different things. He can shoot. He's a ball handler. He can pass the ball. I don't know how he is on defense, but
he's lost is what he is. why
But
he doesn't play.
that skill set has to help, right?
I mean, look, it would have been nice to have a season with him to get some development for sure, and there were definitely some opportunities there, especially when you had Orlando Robinson playing so much. Unfortunately, it was hurt. It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, according to you, you don't care
What do you mean?
if a player's hurt.
No, that's not true.
I mean, as much as you love Big Yurt,
Mhm.
you are
Not as much as Gogi.
a rat off a ship.
Sometimes you have to make tough choices in life, dude. And if you're gonna tell me who do you love more, Tobin, Yurt or Gogi, I love Gogi more. Sorry.
But who's going to make more of an impact on this team?
I don't know because Big Yurt hasn't played all
I
year.
mean, but when healthy.
When healthy, yeah, I would like to have the
Okay.
young center who can put up double doubles.
Okay.
It's a nice if.
Okay.
Biggest small word of all time.
Or you can have Gogi and he
Feel good?
might not ever play.
Maybe not, but man, look at his face.
But no, my decision is based on basketball.
Good for you.
Your decision is based on feel good.
That's fine.
Okay, if you want, look,
Different strokes, dude.
if you want to feel good, I'm gonna give you a number.
Mhm.
Okay, but if we talking basketball and making basketball decisions, the best basketball decision is to get Big Yurt back and not to sign Gogi.
Mm.
That's the best basketball decision. You don't think so?
We'll see.
No. You don't think so? You think the best basketball decision
I do
for the
think it's-
Miami Heat is to bring Gogi in?
I do think that there is, now that they've signed Kevin Love and Cody Zeller, I don't really know when Yurt's going to play. Oh,
Okay.
you tell me. When do you think he's going to play? Kevin Love is a starter. Unless Kevin Love is just a huge bum and they go back to the year. But, like, I think it's a hard ask that you're talking about two young guys. See, if this was an experienced player, I would say, okay, I would understand it. But you're talking basically about two rookies in Jovic and Yurt. And you're like, I would be intrigued by what they're going to do. I would be too if there wasn't 19 games left. I do think that's a tough ask. You don't think there's anything to that? Just take Gogi out of it aside. I'm just saying, like, let's just say they're not signing Gogi. What do you really expect from these guys? Because I would say you shouldn't expect too much.
I would expect a little something out of Big Yurt, not because of any other thing. Is when we had this conversation before the season started, everybody had high praise of Big Yurt and what
That's
he was going to
true.
do. So that didn't go away.
I know.
Now,
but
I
it's-
will say this. Jovic is a different story simply because he is young.
He's a project.
He's a project, although we've seen some skill.
Yeah.
But Big Yurt, they already made the assumption that he was going to be a contributor. So I would like to think that the role that they have for him is still going to be there because they want to see if it's going to play out like they thought it would.
What else we got here? So, can you give me this? This was a big revelation yesterday, Marcos. Mike McDaniel. Turns out Tua not taking judo. Instead, he's taking jujitsu.
A couple weeks ago, Tua said that he was going to start taking judo something to kind of work on
Jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something that the team kind of facilitated, you and Greer and others? Just kind
Yeah, no, it's something that we had various ideas, some of which I won't repeat because they weren't as good as that one. And we were willing to go to any length. However, him getting invested in it and and really talking to him and hearing how the trainers invested in him and how he was really into it and getting good residuals from it. We feel very comfortable in terms of this being able to best prepare him for things that he hasn't otherwise been able to prepare for. That it's something that, like a follow through throwing motion, it's something that we're trying to train, and he's 100% all in, attacking it with vigor and exuberance. and he was a former boxer, so he has all the tools to beat you up if you say bad things about him. It's jujitsu. No, he said judo, but J's and U's, happens.
Huge clarification.
What?
Tua's not taking judo.
He has all the tools to beat you up if you say bad things about him.
That's right. Did you know Tua was a former boxer?
No.
That's a big revelation, dude.
Here we go.
What?
I know why he quit boxing.
What was that?
Weak chin.
I guess. I mean, like he's getting knocked out back of the head. It's not really like that would be almost like getting hit with rabbit punches, which are illegal.
I didn't even know what a rabbit punch was until Floyd kept staring at Conor McGregor. He was giving him hammer time.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, what are you doing?
Can't hit in the back of the head. That's interesting though. So not judo, jujitsu. Which,
well,
truth be
here,
told,
hold on. You're the fight guy.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Okay. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of judo. Just for because I don't want to act.
But all these MMA guys are specialized in either one or the other.
Right. Well, here's why. Okay. So judo. This is my super layman's.
That's fine. It's
thought.
better than ours.
Okay. Judo is spent a lot of time standing, and it's a lot of throwing. So it's like you're going to grab somebody, you're going to throw them to the ground. When we were talking to like Masvidal about it, he goes, I can kind of see that. You could get thrown really nasty and try and break somebody's sternum that way. Like that's a lot of jiu-jitsu. It's at a standing base. There are still submissions. There is grappling, but the way jiu-jitsu is, there's a lot of like, the whole point is like taking them to the ground. You're going to try and take them out in a lot of different ways. You could do a one-legged takedown. You could go double leg takedown. There's a lot of trips, inside trip, outside trip. There are hip throws, but it's a more common move in judo. I'm not Ronda Rousey. I'm not Kayla Harrison. And I'm certainly not Gilbert Burns. Okay.
Don't be like our guy, the 5-second guy that he went for the takedown.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a wrestler. He was neither. He's a wrestler. Like, judo is not something like there's not many judo practitioners who have found success in MMA, which is why
it's too close. You go too close, you get knocked out.
But Ronda Rousey, like off the bat, like Ronda was one of the ones who was like, oh wow, it translates. She was judo. Yeah, she won the bronze medal in judo. Hector Lombard's another one, but he was a knockout artist. He didn't really use it a ton. And Kayla Harrison is a really good fighter in PFL. But more people are in jiu-jitsu. That's what Royce Gracie did. Like the great Royce Gracie who UFC won. And that's like why there's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu school on every block down here. It's a lot more common to take jiu-jitsu. Makes a lot more sense. I got to be honest with you. Because I was like, Tua's taking judo? That is a super random thing to take. Not a lot of people just do judo.
It would help if he knew what he was taking.
Oh, yes. Fair. But
it might give some validity to the story that he's telling.
Here's the thing, though. Now we can get Gilbert Burns to teach him. Because Gilbert Burns is a world champion black belt jiu-jitsu practitioner. This man.
And he's down here.
So Gilbert got to get on the horn and be like.
Here's the problem, though.
What does he have to do?
We talked to Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
And he kind of.
But he thought it was. But I bet you if we called up Gilbert and we said it was. Here's why. Because he probably thinks there's a judo jiu-jitsu beef almost, even though they're cousins. And he's probably like, the Brazilians are looking at judo like that's a joke. Because that's a thing in martial arts. People are like, oh, you do karate. Oh, what do you do? Tai Chi. Like, all right. Because everybody wants to have their martial arts be the best. So when he heard judo, he's like, but if I told him he was taking BJJ, he's probably like, oh, goosies. Now he is busy training for a fight right now. I don't know if we should bother him again, but maybe we should. Tua, Gilbert Burns.
Let's wait. Tua has time.
Well, not too much time. But the first thing they taught my son
the fight is when? In
April.
Okay. That's about you probably start up in I would say like the middle of March. You probably start doing some training.
Then you think Tua will be ringside at the fight if we tell him? Because they'll be friends, they'll establish a relationship, and we can.
Yeah, but he's already going. Who did you say he was going with?
Raheem
Mostert. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Jean-Pierre says judo made sense, not jujitsu.
What?
First thing they teach in jujitsu is falling. And it's honestly like, look, again, I'm not gonna act like I'm some expert at judo. I'm not. But like I can tell you, the first thing they teach you in falling, like literally from little kids, is how to fall. That's like the first thing they taught Tommy. It was like, fall, brace your fall, don't break your neck. And they're doing it in a bunch of ways. I could see why it's fun. And honestly, it's a lot more fun because now he could choke you out. You know? TJ Watt tries to get too close, gets the anaconda on him. Tap machine.
Break his arm.
Did you know he was a boxer, though? He's a boxer.
Dude, really?
What?
See him versus
You
Jake
know what
Paul.
I hate? It's amazing that the stories you hear in professional sports. Oh, he used to do this, he used to do that. Well, he doesn't do it anymore because he sucked at it.
That's
Okay?
not true. Maybe he was just better at a lot of young athletes. You were a multiple sport athlete.
Yeah, but usually guys that select a fighting sport don't just leave and go back.
Maybe his father was.
Think of all the fighters we talked to. Lifelong thing. They didn't just like, oh, I dabbled
Maybe
in
his
it.
father. You ever think about this? Maybe his father was a giant fan of former heavyweight contender David Tua. I've seen Tua put like motivational quotes from David Tua.
And we're back.
No, dude, I'm not even joking here. Hold on. Don't do that. David Tua, Samoan from New Zealand. David Tua was like a beloved fighter. I imagine if his father did like boxing, definitely watch David Tua. Is it possible Tua is named after David Tua? Because I think Tua's posted clips of him before on Instagram. I'm not even making that up. I swear to God, I think I've seen it like once.
I think Tua is abbreviated. It's not
It is.
Okay.
But maybe I don't know if the last name is of David Tua is maybe that is too. Let's look it up.
Oh.
David Tua. Yeah,
No. Don't just say yeah.
it is. I can't pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
I'll take a stab at it.
Fa'u mu'iana
Mhm.
ta'oletai mafufuau fa'u. David Tua.
Gesundheit.
So like David
Yeah,
Tua is his last
right.
name, but he's got like, 5 names.
Okay. All right. I'm looking to see if they're related. As of right now,
They're not
it's so
related.
much. What?
They're
Oh,
not
you think it's
related,
just,
but
like,
I'm saying,
inspired.
yeah, like maybe it's
Yeah.
inspired. Maybe his dad was a boxing fan and he named his son after Tua, after David Tua. It's not crazy.
It is crazy. You are crazy. So any additional things that come out of your pie hole are also crazy.
I don't like how you say it's a pie hole that it's not just stuff that comes out. First of all, I didn't reveal this. Mike McDaniel did. So,
About David Tua?
no, not that. I'm putting two and Tua together.
Point for Tobin.
See, and you got
Hold on,
DJ
that was-
Khaled. You got DJ Khaled on the other side of the glass.
That was pretty
Yeah, another one. Plus another
I
one.
looked at you though. I looked at you first, and you seemed to enjoy that one. That was pretty
He
good.
did enjoy it. He did. He was tickled.
J Pig looked at you in disgust.
My fancy is tickled.
She just looked up.